Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you all out here this evening. We'll begin our regular council meeting in just a few moments, and that will be conducted by Councilmember Brass. But first, we will meet as a committee of the whole for one matter of business, and that is the approval of the minutes for the committee of the whole meeting of December 8th, 2015. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? I do have one correction. On page 6, on paragraph 6, where it states that Mr. Camp discussed, and further in the paragraph, Mr. Camp stated, I believe that was Mr. Brass that had that discussion. In both cases, yes. Any other additions or corrections?
I'll move approval with those changes.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Mr. Brass and a second by Mr. Hales. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. That is all of the business for our committee of the whole meeting, so our committee of the whole meeting will be adjourned.
That was fast. All right, we'll get started. Welcome to the Murray City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 19th. All council members are present. If you have cell phones, since we have a large group, and welcome everyone, please put them on silent. We're going to start with a Pledge of Allegiance. I have asked Talmadge Barney to lead us in the pledge. He is from Troop 602. If you'll just come up to the podium.
Will the audience please rise? And you repeat after me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two. The audience may be seated.
Thank you. And we've got a bunch of scouts over here in the corner. If you take turns, stand up and just tell us your name, and if one of you would tell us what badge you're working on, we'd appreciate it. And Talmadge, why don't you start since you let us? Great. And the rest of you, we just need your name. Great, and you're okay. Thank you. Any other scouts hiding around here? Welcome. You came here on a busy night. It's kind of nice. Usually we're sort of lonely. Tonight we have a nice crowd. All right, we don't have any minutes scheduled tonight, so we'll go into special recognition. The first one is the Employee of the Month. You're up. You want to handle this? I'll let you take it from the microphone.
Thanks, Jim. Sony, can we have you come on up? Oh, Sony just loves this. She likes the attention. Now, Marcy, she does, but no, I'm just. Where is she? I couldn't even see her. There she is. I see her. There she is. She's got the camera. Oh, she's got proof. Okay. Anyway, we are excited. We started this program a few years ago, an Employee of the Month. And Corey, are you presenting or Doug? Doug is. Okay, come on up, Doug. Come stand by us. But we started this and about, like I said, 3 years ago. And we just wanted to recognize our employees. We thought that it was important to be able to recognize the employees and show appreciation. I know as an employee, for years, for all my life, that it's nice to be recognized, and sometimes that's all it takes, so thanks. But we are going to give you a little bit more than thanks. We're going to give you a $50 gift certificate, and we usually get them from the Fashion Place Mall. They have stopped doing them, Jan said, well, what do you want me to do then? Where do I go? And she goes, why don't you go to Southtown Mall? And we're going like, well, we're Murray. We'd like to keep this in Murray. So we got a Visa card. So you can do whatever you want with that $50 Visa card. And then we'll put your name on the plaque back there. And then here's a certificate. Sony, 16 years?
16 years in February.
16 years in February. That's awesome. So we'll present this. This is from the council. And so a big appreciation from the Murray City Council. Thank you. Now we'll turn time over to Doug.
So thank you all for coming tonight to recognize Sony. No, I know that there is, I think, a State of the City tonight that the mayor is presenting, and John Harris is also going to receive an advancement. But just to show how many people are here to support Sony, I'd like to ask those in the audience that work with Sony and are here to support her as family just to stand up, just so everybody can see how much Sony is liked by those that work with her. Thank you. So I get the privilege of being able to say a few kind words about Sony, and a lot of these words come from the people that work with Sony and her supervisor, Corey. Sony plays an important role in the operation of the Park Center. She is responsible for all of the memberships, customer service, supervisors, and many recreation programs. She does all the scheduling for staff and ensures that policies are being followed by the staff and patrons who use the facility. Sony manages the largest adult volleyball program in the state of Utah. And I emphasize state of Utah because people, because of Sony's background and love for volleyball, people come from all over Utah to participate in the volleyball leagues at the Park Center. She runs quality leagues and tournaments which seem to keep growing. Sony also manages the Matt Harpring basketball camp, which has been operating out of the Park Center now for 10 years. She supervises open pickleball at the Park Center, which is becoming popular, especially amongst the seniors. Sony has an excellent work ethic and is very detail-oriented, professional, and committed to do a fine job. Her programs stand among the best the city has to offer. She sets a good example for other employees on how to be effective and efficient in a job. Recently, Sony was instrumental in implementing the Sportsman software system in Parks and Recreation. She helped to customize the program to fit our needs and to make it work both for membership and program registration. She also designed the new online registration program and customized the site to be user-friendly. Sony supervisor Corey Plant stated, "Sony is a rising star and very valuable to our operation. Her contribution to the city is remarkable. If you want to get something done right, give it to Sony and it will be completed in a way that far outweighs your expectations." So it's my pleasure to introduce Sony and ask her to say a few words and introduce her family.
Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate this. The microphone and I are actually not friends, so I guess I'd rather be here than be with Frank in court. So I had to throw that in there because he kind of told me we were doing a court thing today. So. But I really appreciate it. I mean, love the city. We moved our family down here 16 years in February and love coming to work every day. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Sony. We won't make you come back and introduce everybody who's here, but and all of you, if you don't have to stay to the end if you want to get up and run far and run fast. But congratulations. Next one, this falls under for me anyway. It's about time.
That's good.
Appointment and swearing in of John Harris as Deputy Fire Chief. John's been acting as the acting deputy, and now we get to make it official. So, Chief, if you
And
would.
Sony, congratulations. I wanted to stand up. I didn't know if I should, but I know we in the fire department appreciate everything you do over there as well. So, okay, moving on. First of all, thank you for letting us do this promotion, this appointment for John Harris for the deputy chief position. And sometimes chief camp. We get what the deputy chief is. It's not an easy position. It's a very important position. It takes a lot of the heat off of me as the chief. But more than that, it's a tough position. And John comes with good qualifications. He came to Murray Fire Department from Colorado. I mean, that's where he lived. He worked for the fire department in Vail and worked in the ski patrol. Kind of had a pretty good gig there. He's worked for Murray for 21 years. He's held every position: firefighter, engineer, except for paramedic, and battalion chief. Has been to BC for the last 10 years. This last 6 months, he's been acting in as the deputy chief and done an outstanding job. Just a little bit about John. He's got his executive fire officer. Okay, we appreciate that, right, Blair? He's also a CFO, certified fire officer, and you forgot this one, certified public manager. All right, and also has his master's degree in executive fire leadership and disaster preparedness. He's our city's emergency manager, and also certified as the Utah certified emergency manager. So he's got quite a resume. Okay, it's enough time. Okay. Anyways, as I said, the position can be difficult. It can be trying because you really balance challenges and you weigh the obvious technical problems, the problem solving, and maintaining a compassion for personalities. So it's kind of tough. I used to be a school teacher. Deputy chief is like the vice principal. You know, they're great guys, but then they also have to do some tough things. He's proven himself time and again that he can do the job. When things get difficult, he can work through the process with a positive outcome. John and I have had many a candid conversation. We'll have many more candid conversation as we did, you know, and it's I'm really excited about it. There's no bigger compliment or endorsement I can give you, John, as trust, and trust from me and trust from the fire department, and that's a very sacred thing to hold on to. So as we go forward with this, I do trust you. And Mayor, I can tell you this without reservation, that we appoint John Harris to the position of Deputy Chief. So with that being said.
I, John Harris, do solemnly swear to support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah, and perform the duties of my office as Deputy Fire Chief with fidelity.
Your dad? Who's going to pin it on you? Okay. Mr. Harris? This is John's dad, who flew in from Atlanta. Then John, if you come up and introduce your family and
Yeah, I never want to pass up the opportunity to say a few words and make a fool of myself. So, well, first I'd like to start off by just really expressing my appreciation for the City Council, Mayor, Fire Chief, really for your confidence in me for this appointment. It means a lot. You know, I've truly had a charmed, blessed life. The last 21 years at Murray have really been wonderful, great city to work for. And the employees of the fire department who are out here all in back, really a dedicated group of individuals to work with and really inspired me. You know, that being said, I realize you tried to talk me out of this position a little bit. It comes with a great deal of responsibility, I realize that, but I look forward to serving the city in this capacity. So thank you very much. Thanks. So, first of all, I want to introduce, well, many of you already know, my better half, Amy Goller. And, hey, Amy! And as you mentioned, my parents are here, Russell and Nancy Harris, who went past the scrutiny of TSA and made it here today to fly in. So, thank you very much.
I'd just like to take just a second and congratulate John on this promotion. We were just reminiscing a little bit earlier, remembering hiring, when we hired John back in 1995, I was serving as the assistant chief. At the time, we both had hair, dark hair, and we knew that we were getting a really great employee, a top-notch young, completed an internship and was working for the fire department in Vail, and we felt very fortunate. And Johnny hasn't been a disappointment in any sense. He's been a great employee. I expected that someday you would be at the top of the fire department, and it's great to see you in that position now. So congratulations. And just one other comment, if I may. Chief Rodriguez served as for a period of time as my deputy chief, and what he says is absolutely correct. This trust is so important, and I know that you'll have his back like he had mine. So anyway, congratulations.
I'd like to just say, when you think of John Harris, you just think of a classy guy, and then I met his dad today, and we know where you get it.
There you go. Again, congratulations. This is great. And it's always fun to see the firefighting family here. And if there's anybody out in the hallway now, we have some seats that opened up. If anyone wants to slip out, please feel free. This is a good break. I did notice Senator Shizawa has joined us. Doctor, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. And we'll take just a second while people ease out, and then we'll go on to the consent agenda. Okay, next item, and if it's okay with the council, I'll read the consent agenda. We'll take a motion all at once, and then Mayor. Oh, sorry, getting ahead of myself. Citizen comment. Next item on the agenda is citizen comments. This is the part of the agenda where if you'd like to come up, make a comment, or speak to something to the council, you can. Other than what's on the public hearing, we do have 2 public hearings scheduled, so we would take it. But any other items that you might have concern or comment on, we would address now. Would anybody like to speak? Okay. Then, consent agenda. I'll read them off. We'll take a motion on all of them. The mayor, if you would introduce the ones who are here, is that acceptable? Okay, we have several items in the consent agenda. We have to consider the confirmation of Mayor Ayers' appointment, and forgive me if I get names wrong, Becca Spute to Murray Arts Advisory Board in an at-large position for a 2-year term to expire January 15th, 2018. Consider confirmation of Mayor Ayers' appointment of Donna Gaden to the Murray Heritage Center Advisory Board in an at-large position for a 3-year term to expire February 1st, 2019. Consider confirmation of Mayor Ayers' appointment of Ed Houston to the Murray Heritage Center Advisory Board in an at-large position for a 3-year term to expire February 1st, 2019. Consider confirmation of Mayor Ayers' reappointment of Judy Baxendale to the Murray Heritage Center Advisory Board in an at-large position for a 3-year term to expire February 1st, 2019. And consider confirmation of Mayor Ayers' reappointment of Rod Young to the Murray Heritage Center Advisory Board in an at-large position for a 3-year term to expire February 1st, 2019. I would entertain a motion to adopt the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda as read.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Ms. Turner and a second by Mr. Hales. Jennifer.
Ms. Turner?
Aye.
Mr. Held?
Aye.
Mr. Nochowski?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Ross?
Aye. Mayor, if you would, please.
Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. I had the opportunity to interview Becca Sputes today. Becca, if you could please stand. It was a great opportunity to meet with her for about 20 or 30 minutes, and we had a great conversation. Becca is a resident of Murray, been here for 16 years, and loves the arts. She worked with the Murray Arts in the Parks, and she is currently a music specialist at Viewmont Elementary, if that's correct. One of the wonderful things that we talked about was her not only love for her arts, but the love for children, and to get children involved in the arts. And she's afraid that this generation is kind of missing out with all their electronics and everything else on some of the beauty that art is in music and in performing arts, and also in painting, poetry, and everything else. And so she's done all that she can in the elementary schools to try and introduce the beauty of art to the young people, so that they don't get passed up, and they understand the beauty of art in their life. So we appreciate her. She's going to be wonderful on this board, and we appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you very much, Becca. I know that Ed Houston is here. I know Ed, and Ed, if you could stand up. Ed Houston is, I see him at the Park Center all the time. I just really enjoy running into Ed. Ed joined the Air Force in 1957 and stayed with the Air Force until 1977. And following his retirement from the Air Force, he went into the aerospace industry, where he worked for about 21 years in the aerospace industry. 24 years, excuse me, I'm sorry. He's lived in Murray for 21 years. His beautiful wife, Kathy, is here with him, sitting right next to him. And he's going to complete her term and just take off with the Murray Heritage Center. And it's just great to have Ed here this evening. Thank you very much, Ed. Then the only other reappointment we had was Donna Gayland, and I don't know if Donna is here tonight. Is Donna not here? She had surgery, from what I understand, and didn't know if she would be able to make it because of surgery. So we appreciate her accepting that role in the Murray Heritage Center, and appreciate her service there, along with the other two reappointments that you've already approved. I don't know that the reappointments are here either. Is Judy or Rod either here? Normally their reappointments aren't here. So the reappointments have been confirmed as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and again, thank you for your willingness to serve. Our volunteers really do make a difference, and the Heritage Center's great anyway. So, all right, public hearings. We'll start the public hearings. If you're here to comment on a public hearing, we'll open for public comment after we have a presentation. We do have boxes with forms that we would ask you to fill out. You can do that either before or after. When you comment, we'll ask you to come up to the podium, identify yourself, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. First public hearing is to consider an ordinance amending Chapter 17.38 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to check cashing businesses by adding title-owned businesses for regulation, and Tim Tingey will present.
Council, this item was taken to the Planning Commission, where they held a public hearing on that on December 17th, provided a recommendation to you, which I will state here in just a minute. This item is really to provide clarification in the code to include the title loan type businesses as part of the check cashing definition. And so there is an additional definition related to title loan businesses. The statement in the ordinance or proposed ordinance is that they are an establishment that provides short-term loans to individuals in exchange for title of a motor vehicle, mobile home, motorboat, or other vehicle as collateral. We have some restrictions on these types of businesses as far as the number that are located in our community, as well as the distance requirements between these types of businesses. So the Planning Commission recommended approval at that December 17th meeting. I'm recommending approval of it as well today.
Thank you. Any questions for Tim? Okay. We will open this for public comment. Again, if you wish to comment, please step to the podium. Give us your name and address. Would anybody like to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none, we'll close this portion, and we'll close the public hearing and open it up for council consideration or comment. If there are no comments, I would accept a motion.
I would move approval of the ordinance amending Chapter 17.38 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to check cashing businesses by adding title-owned business for regulation.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Camp and a second by Ms. Turner. Jennifer, if you would.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. All right, second one is, second public hearing is to consider an ordinance amending section 17.48.030 and enacting section 17.48.165 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to sign regulations in the Transit-Oriented Development District and Mixed-Use Development District. Tim, welcome back.
Once again, this item was considered at the Planning Commission meeting. In fact, they had a number of meetings discussing these changes to the sign code and deliberated on them and provided a recommendation at the November 19th meeting. What this does is it puts in more definitions into our sign code related to these transit-oriented development areas and mixed-use areas. Just for your understanding, the council, you're aware of this. We had a presentation about this a few weeks ago. But for the public, these areas these transit-oriented development areas are areas that are to promote more of a pedestrian feel, not as much of an automobile feel. And so the sign code that's being proposed is much different than what you would see in a regular retail district or a manufacturing district. They're signs that are conducive to that pedestrian feel. You have a mix of uses in these areas which include residential, and so the type of signage needs to be conducive to that type of environment. So the definition element of this, we're including definitions for awning signs, blade signs, canopy signs, flat signs, hanging signs, monument signs, pole signs, a modification to the projecting sign, and then a definition of the wall sign and window sign. And then within these areas, we are including definitions and also regulations related to the types of signs in the areas. It includes regulations on flat wall mounted sign, and there's specifics on that, awning signs, canopy signs, blade projecting signs, window signs, detached signage, pole signs, monument and ground signs, permanent wayfinding signs, and then sign removal. And then the final part of this is prohibited signs. All of this is included in this ordinance that's being proposed at this time. I do want to mention one addition that I want to propose tonight. It was brought forward in the committee of the whole meeting. I think Councilman Brass discussed this, but under the monument or under the permanent wayfinding signs, there was a suggestion that we look at allowing one portable sign, ground sign, or per ground floor business. So as part of this, I'm losing my voice, I'm sorry. On the permanent wayfinding, item number 3, under detached signs, which is B3, I would propose that we would have permanent wayfinding directional kiosk and then add this wording, one portable sign per ground floor business, that wording right there as part of this to account for that. That will allow people that are walking on the street to see additional wayfinding signage on that, and it provides more clarification. So based on all of this, we are recommending approval of these sign ordinance changes. This addition is very important for the transit-oriented development areas and mixed-use areas. We don't have any definitions or regulations related to these areas. We feel like these proposals are very conducive to the area, and the Planning Commission recommended approval of that, and I'm recommending approval of these changes tonight.
Thanks, Tim. Any questions for Tim? No, go ahead.
Does that change, maybe this is for you, Frank, does that change have any impact on the Planning Commission's recommendation? I mean, should that have been heard by them?
Well, they didn't have an opportunity to make recommendation. Remember, though, they're just an advisory to the council in this case. So, you could send it back. I don't think that is as material to the entire ordinance as other provisions, but that is up to, if you want to send it back, you certainly can do that.
I don't.
And again, for the reasoning that I had for that is as we try to attract restaurants, you see a lot of areas where restaurants will put menu specials or menu items on a folding sign and stick it outside of the restaurant. And currently, we don't allow that. And as we, try to grow into a downtown that people want to go to, anything that helps those businesses attract customers, I think is beneficial. So I thought we ought to add that.
I think that's good.
Okay, any other comments? If not, I'll open up for public hearing. Again, same rules apply. Would anyone like to speak to this matter? Going once, going twice. Okay, I see, seeing no public comment, I will close the public hearing portion, open it up for council deliberation or a motion.
I'd make a motion that we approve an ordinance amending section 17.48.030 and enacting section 17.48.165 of the Murray City Municipal Code relating to sign regulations in the transit-oriented development district and a mixed-use development district as amended.
Including the addition that Tim.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Nick Ponsky and a second by Mr. Hales. Jennifer, if you would.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, we have no unfinished business, and so new business. Mayor Ayers, State of the City address for 2016. Mayor.
Good evening, Murray City Council, residents, staff, and friends. Once again, I am grateful for the opportunity to stand before you and to represent so many people whose combined efforts make up the state of our city. Our city employees, residents, business owners, volunteers, and those who come here to recreate, work, and shop all contribute to the heartbeat that makes this city so unique. I hope that our founding fathers would be proud of the way that we have continued to build on the foundation that they laid and to honor their ideals of independence, self-sufficiency, and service to others. Just a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to witness the oath of office ceremony for 3 of our city council members. I congratulate them and look forward to working with them on the exciting developments that will be coming in the future years. We are so fortunate as a city to have such a council that represents the interest of our city with dedication, independent thinking, and integrity. As the words of the oath of office were read and repeated by each council member, I was deeply impressed and reminded what each of us who have been elected to office swear to do. That there was one phrase that particularly struck me. Even as local officials, we swear to support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States. I remember having to memorize its preamble while I was in junior high school and thought of its application to us, someone who has publicly promised to uphold it. As public servants, we do our best to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. The rest of the Constitution lays out how a government should be formed, and we are fortunate to be one of the few cities in Utah to follow the pattern of separation of branches of government and to respect the distinct delineations and responsibilities of each. What a privilege it is to live in this great country, and we have a sworn duty to do all we can to ensure the promises contained in the Constitution to the residents of Murray, Utah. The tenets of the Constitution are not just important parts of our federal and state government, but play a key role in the everyday services that are provided to our city residents as well. All our departments all have duties that focus on meeting the needs of our citizen. Each year they prepare a report outlining the work that they have accomplished in the previous 12 months. I have selected some of the points that explain some of the ways that they have worked to include the values of the Constitution in their service. I would like to divide our departments into 3 categories. First, those that provide our day-to-day internal services. Second, our public safety and support groups. And third, our utility services and quality of life areas. We are fortunate to have a great human resource team working hard on employee issues, internal policies, healthcare options, and hiring new people. Last year, they received and processed 542 applications of employment for 20 full-time positions and hired almost 185 part-time employees, many who work seasonally. 5 long-standing policies were updated, including the city travel policy and bereavement leave policy. The legal department spends much time supporting both the council and the administration on a wide variety of issues. They coordinate our risk management program, which has been very effective in improving safety, cost, and limiting liability. The land use focus has been extensive this year, with working to purchase the Murray Theater, coordinating with J.R. Miller Enterprises on the downtown redevelopment project, and other RDA-related efforts. They have handled almost 13,000 criminal cases this year, with only 70 appeals to the district court. The primary objective of our finance department is to provide accurate and timely financial information to citizens, the council, and the administration. This helps them make a sustainable budget and to make informed decisions. The budget process is key to funding projects and activities in all of our various departments. The finance department also handles our sales tax and property tax funds, works to pay off debts, and help to implement our new payroll and financial software. All of these efforts have led to the city's AAA bond rating and a clean audit for the second year in a row. The valuable input we receive from them helps us to make responsible, reasonable decisions to keep our taxes under control and services funded. With all the innovations in technology, we are fortunate to have a great IT staff and GIS personnel. They have been instrumental in selecting, installing, and training in our new city software, which will allow us to serve our residents more efficiently. With their help, we have been able to enhance our services, such as offering passports, with over 2,100 passports processed this year. We cannot speak of technology without mentioning Utopia and UIA. In last year's State of the City address, I made the following statement, quote, "I believe that in subsequent State of the City addresses, the Utopia question will be in the positive column." I am glad to report to you tonight on a recap of their 2015 review, which states, quote, "Combined operating break-even has now been reached. No operational assessments have been sent out to any cities, and we do not anticipate having to send them out in the future." Public safety is one of the most valued services of all, especially when we need help. This past year, we were able to hire 3 new police officers to replace those positions which have not been filled since the recession. Murray Police are visible throughout our city and are all equipped with computers and body cameras. 8 officers were trained in the crisis intervention program to help those with mental health issues. We are also fortunate to have dedicated personnel who serve as victim advocates who help in a wide variety of very challenging situations. The Murray Police SWAT team has successfully reduced the risk of injury and loss of life to citizens, officers, and suspects. They provide many demonstrations and training exercises to teach personal safety awareness along with active shooter exercises. We continue to provide the DARE program, and we had 778 graduates in 2015. Code enforcement officers and neighborhood watch programs support our goal to have clean, safe, and protected neighborhoods to call home. The Murray Justice Court is part of our public safety triangle, allowing us to handle a large local caseload for issues in our city. The court is making a huge effort to become paperless, and their staff is doing a remarkable job during this transition. They are an important sector of our community safety and do a great job dealing with cases in a very timely manner. The fire department responded to 600 more calls than they did last year, with almost 6,200 emergency responses. Almost 5,000 of these were for medical needs. We were able to purchase a new bariatric ambulance this year, and more than 250 people were CPR trained by our fire staff. 4 drills were conducted to practice skills for various types of emergencies this year. Their staff participated with the countywide Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 5, requiring extensive training to help in major disasters. Providing a high quality of life has long been a principal goal of the leaders of Murray. That is one reason that we provide so many of our own services. Along with the daily expectations of good roads, safe water, and power needs, we also have the opportunity to make our life better by offering recreational opportunities, a library, and beautiful, wonderful parks. For example, the Murray Library was one of only 7 Utah libraries to achieve the quality certification from the state of Utah. This designation was based on performance measures in library visits, circulation of materials, program attendance, local operating expenditures, overturn rates, library programs and community settings, the library website, and literacy programs. The library also completed a radio frequency identification project this year that provides state-of-the-art material handling and circulation for our library users. This year, over 2,000 volunteer hours were offered in our city parks by groups and individuals. From high school teams to scouts and business groups, it is amazing to have so many willing to keep our parks in top shape. 8 successful movies in the parks were held with an average attendance of over 600. The Park Center had over 300,000 visitors attending in 2015. Swimming lessons were provided to 2,750 participants. The Murray Arts and History program involved about 2,300 artists and 37,000 patrons in 178 productions and projects. The Heritage Center continues to offer a vast array of programming opportunities, with over 76,000 of our seniors residents enjoying our services. We appreciate the work of our Administrative Development Services Department, along with coordination they provide with NeighborWorks to rehabilitate housing in our city, making beautiful refurbished homes available to residents. This year, for the first time since they've been in Murray, they've been able to build a home from the ground up. The ADS department also completed an RFP and selection process for updating our general plan. They have spent many hours gathering citizen inputs and working with 5 focus groups. This department also helped with property purchases so we can build new pickleball courts in the Murray Park area this year. Changes have been made to the Murray Parkway Golf Course under the new management there. The leagues are very popular, and the dedicated staff, along with new equipment, are continuing to improve the quality of this wonderful facility. However, we are concerned about the outdated and problematic irrigation system, which we are in the process of saving funds for to repair in the near future. The utilities provided by Murray City are often the envy of other entities in the valley. Murray City Power Department has focused their efforts on keeping the system at reliability rates that our residents and our businesses expect. The number of unplanned outages was down from last year, and we continue to have over a 99% power on rating. Average response time by our crews during outages were 14 minutes. The Forestry Division took out, trimmed, removed branches from over 1,300 trees and planted over 100 other trees. Their efforts to keep the reliability at a high percentage rate is the pride of our city. Our Streets Division completed over 35 slurry seals on streets, crack sealed 4 major areas, provided road overlays on 14 streets, and finished 2 major road rebuilding projects. They filled almost 2,000 potholes, replaced over 600 signs, provided snow removal, traffic control, 44 miles of street painting, and offered 335 loads of wood chips to our residents. The entire cemetery was remapped with GIS technology, resulting in the location of new lots that will soon be available for purchase. A process is currently underway to determine how residents can purchase these lots. A new irrigation system was completed, along with curbs and gutters being replaced and refinished. Once again, our Water Division rebate program for removing old fixtures was successful in replacing 59 fixtures last year. The department received national recognition for their efforts in water conservation as they received the EPA WaterSense Partner of the Year Award at a ceremony in Las Vegas. They are also working to build a new pump house at the McGee Springs this year. Our wastewater division cleaned over 150 miles of sewer pipes, inspected 22 miles of our system with TV cameras, and surveyed 5 miles of storm drains. Businesses are also a vital, important element to our city in offering products and services close to home for our residents. We are excited about the new Dillard's at Fashion Place Mall. In addition to the new Macy's store, they will also be adding more than 53,000 square feet of new stores between the footprint of the Macy's and the existing mall. Medical facilities also continue to recognize the advantage of locating here, as evidenced by the new 78,000 square foot building being added to the Tosh campus. To highlight all the wonderful aspects of our community, we have undertaken the opportunity to produce a short video explaining the advantages of living and doing business in Murray City. It is a great resource to help those wishing to locate here or to understand our city better. I would like to thank Tim Tingey and Jennifer Heaps for their efforts on this project. We would like to present it to you now. Quite a place, isn't it? And better still, everything you're seeing is located in the heart of the Wasatch Front, right here in Murray, Utah. I'm Ted Iyer, mayor of this amazingly vibrant city. Quite a transformation from our rough and tumble beginning as a town based in the ore industry to what we are today. A retail-based center packed with activity that makes Murray one of the best places in the entire world to do business, live, and raise a family. What makes us unique? That's easy. Our spirit of doing things ourselves, a sense of self-sufficiency. It's been that way for 100 years. It's why we created our own police department, our own fire department, our own school district, water department, power company, and library system. And with that independent nature comes a feeling of inclusiveness from the people who live and work here, and they play a key role in our education-friendly, family-friendly community. But don't just take my word for it. Listen to a few people who choose to work and live here and are proud to call Murray home.
The city of Murray is a place that not only is centrally located in the valley, but it has also a central vision. They welcome those of all different types of businesses, all different types of thoughts, backgrounds, whether they come here for business or come here to reside. Murray has just a wonderful hometown feel.
There is a Murray pride here. One way I'd describe it to you is that every time a home goes on sale in Murray, the person who buys it either grew up in Murray or already lives in Murray. We just kind of recirculate within our city because we all enjoy it so much. Right here in our city, we have this little oasis, a beautiful park, incredible creeks, a golf course, softball, baseball field, and all of it is teeming with life that makes it a very lovely place to live.
I have a passion for education. As we were preparing to move here, that was probably one of my biggest concerns, was to make sure that our kids had a good education. My kids are part of a dual immersion program. They have a Spanish program at their school where half their day is spent speaking only Spanish, and then the other half they are in an English class. And so they've done this since they were in first grade. My son, who's in sixth grade, has gone throughout the entire program, and he can speak as well as understand Spanish fluently.
Education is an important part of Murray City, and our patrons really feel strongly about having their own school system. Our schools tend to be much smaller in number than in some of the districts around us. We have some elementary schools whose enrollments are around 400. When you only have 400 in a school as compared to 800 or 900, it's easier for the parents to really get to know the teachers and to get to know the principal.
As a parent, I was involved in the Murray School District. I helped do assemblies. I helped work with teachers. But I got to tell you, there's a lot of people in Murray that step up and do that. All of my neighbors either were crossing guards or working in the PTA. I would characterize them as a very engaged school system and a very unique education within Salt Lake Valley.
I actually ended up graduating with my associate's degree through Murray High School. I was taking courses that were equivalent to what a freshman in college would be taking. And I was doing that in high school, and it was both comforting because I knew the teachers already. I was already comfortable being here. When I got into the college level area, the arena, I was already prepared and able to really excel.
This is definitely a community of healing. We've got incredible healthcare services within this community. We've got the Intermountain Medical Center. We have people from all over the world that come to Intermountain Medical Center to see how best care is practiced.
We bring in lots of people from out of state, and a 15-minute drive to the airport in a major city is unheard of. But we also have the benefit of TRAX light rail and the Front Runner commuter rail. They do come together just to the west of our property. We are the only place outside of downtown Salt Lake City where that happens. That brings patients, it brings employees, it brings visitors. It's a tremendous advantage to us here when you have as many people and as much traffic as we do.
We also have the Tosh facility. The Tosh facility provides sports medicine, orthopedic specialties to people that need those kind of services. We also have other healthcare organizations that have a presence here that also deliver exceptional care.
The city offers everything. There's great eating establishments. They're very family friendly, or there's also a nightlife available. And of course, the shopping.
I think the smaller businesses and the family businesses and those that have been long-term in Murray are similar to a link on a chain. There may be large sections of that chain, meaning large retailers and those types of things, but I really believe that it is the small businesses, even the cottage-type businesses, that are the real fabric of Murray City.
The retail climate here in Murray has been great. They attract a lot of first-time to Utah retailers, as well as a lot of the local boutique retailers. You get a very diverse clientele that comes back over and over and over again.
4 years ago, Brio came into Murray, looked at the growth, the residential, obviously the commercial growth. I think the growth alone and what they saw in the surrounding area and the changes that the mall were going to do, it just enticed them to build here.
You'll often hear said that government's best that's close to the people. In Murray, it's all so close. So in our power company, you're not dealing with a big major utility, you're dealing with your neighbors who run this power company. If you go to the park and you see something you don't like, it's easy to get someone to talk to. Everything here is very close to the people, gives you a ton of government control, and it gives you, in a sense, a lot of freedom as a resident.
The thing that I like about the mayor right now is he invites us into meetings, talks about growth. So he'll ask business leaders in their business to come to a meeting, but he gets our feedback of what he thinks works well, what doesn't work well. Why do we think our businesses are successful as they are? So I think for him asking us, you get that feel like he's really reaching out and trying to get everybody's feedback.
We've also had the opportunity to work with the city leaders on a vision for downtown and a vision for the park system and the trail system. I'm not sure that every city would give an employer that opportunity.
The people that live here in Murray, they're just great people. They take pride in this community, and it would be great to be part of a community where the whole community is working together to make things better for children.
There's a unique quality about people from Murray. They're really friendly. They are very involved in their community. There's a reason people keep coming back.
See, it's not just me. Tens of thousands of people love working and living in our incredible city of Murray. And even though we like to come together as one community, there are tens of thousands of different reasons why. Well, wasn't that great? However, in addressing the state of the city, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the contributions that our residents make. Our residents are not only the heart of the city, their strength is what makes Murray so unique. They are the reason why we do what we do, and why our departments strive for excellence in their jobs. I'd like to highlight just a few individuals who are exceptional role models in our community. They are to be commended for their business ethics, their community service, and their dedication to our city. Jim Hendrickson, if you could stand. Jim is 92 years young. His list of, thank you. His list of accomplishments are outstanding in Murray City. Murray City will always remember him for his desire to beautify our city. We have received the Tree City USA Award for 38 consecutive years, longer than any other city in the state. And Jim has been a major part of this program and has served on the Murray Shade Tree and Beautification Commission since its inception in 1980. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jim, for all your countless years of dedication to our city. Bill and Susan Wright, if you could please stand. I cannot mention Bill and Susan's name without thinking of the dance programs that they have championed. From their ballroom dances to that they host weekly to the wonderful ballet productions. This adds such a rich cultural feature to our city. They also own and operate several successful businesses in our downtown area. They are highly respected in the Murray business community for their ability to see a niche and fill it. The Wrights have preserved many of our historic features in our city. We honor them for their business ethics, for their artistic talents which they share with others, and for helping to preserve historic elements in our city for our younger generation to enjoy for decades to come. Thank you so much, Bill and Susan. Officer Taylor Blower. Taylor has been a Murray City Patrol officer for just 1 year. He graduated from Utah State University and currently serves as a second lieutenant in the Utah National Guard. When he was hired as a police officer, he was in training with the Guard, but we were so impressed with him that we waited for 3 months for him to finish his Guard training for his employment to start here. Taylor and his wife have moved to Murray City after he was hired so that he could live in the city where he serves. He is a conscientious officer and takes pride in his position. We recognize him not only for being one of the younger and newer residents to our city, but for the example he is of the future employees that serve as great role models as they serve their community and their nation. Thank you very much, Officer Blower. In conclusion, as you have both seen and heard tonight, it is the people. The combination of employees and residents who make up the state of our city. Because of them, our future is extremely bright. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Interestingly enough, now it's the report of the mayor. Did you want to add anything else? Okay, that was very good. Any questions for the mayor from the council?
Just a big thanks from me for all that you do, and also to your family. Wonderful support you have. Thank you.
And again, thanks everyone for coming. We're adjourned.